The timeless black coat is back on trend for autumn. Here's my top 5 picks from the high street. Hello everyone, I hope you've all had a wonderful week. So today I'm talking black coats, one of the easiest, most timeless and wearable fashion trends for autumn winter 2023. Now I have scoured the high street and beyond to find the perfect one, and I've managed to narrow it down to my absolute top 5 favorites. So let's dive straight in. So what is the black coat fashion trend? Now it's seen on the runways from the likes of Prada, Givenchy, Victoria Beckham and Dolce & Gabbana. The classic black coat got an upgrade this autumn with sharper shoulders and a more tailored edge. Defining points seem to be long, double-breasted with a slight Marlene Dietrich vibe, which I personally really liked. So first up, I shopped at COS, one of my favourite high street stores that always create really expensive looking pieces. So I found this stunning and incredibly timeless option from their new in collection. So this one has an oversized fit. It's fully lined and it's been made from a blend of recycled wool with, I might add, a tiny hint of recycled mohair. And that just seems to give it a really soft, slightly textured feel. I thought it was a lovely point of difference. So throughout this video, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to style each coat, just to make sure you've got lots of inspiration for your own autumn outfit ideas. But this is the first way I would style this one. Now, one detail I did really want to follow was the straight, slightly masculine shape, the Marlene influence, I suppose. And part of that look is accentuated with this particular version being a little bit oversized. It's structured and it's beautifully made, but there's just a sort of chic nonchalance to it that makes it feel really effortless. Now, if I'm being really picky, although I did go with a size 36, which is my usual size, I think I would have preferred just a teeny tiny bit less shoulder width on this particular coat. So maybe sizing down once would enable that perfect fit. So straight off the rail, one gorgeous version that I found on the high street. Do let me know actually as we go along which one is your favorite. We should have a little bit of a vote and see by the end of it if I've made the right decision. So the next black coat is an option that I actually saw right at the beginning of the season, and I kept coming back to it for another look. So I thought it was about time I actually tried it on to be able to give you all a proper all-round opinion. So my first thought when I put this one on was, in truth, that it's quite heavy to wear, which I know wouldn't be for everyone. And from experience, I've learned that when weekdays say it's oversized, they really do mean it. So perhaps you should consider sizing down if you don't want to go too slouchy. It's coming in at a very affordable £135. So just over half the price of the COS version. However, seeing and feeling this version in real life, you can, in all honesty, feel a difference in the quality. Though I like the fact that they've used a recycled wool, and actually the polyester content in that one is recycled too, which is really great to see. It just doesn't have the same slightly luxe feel to it as the coat before. The wool does feel a bit cheaper, but of course it is cheaper, so that makes total sense. On the positive end of the scale, they have absolutely nailed the trend and look for this autumn winter. It's double-breasted, it's long, it's slightly masculine looking, and actually now I've tried it on, I am pretty sure it is exactly the same shape as my grey herringbone version, which you might remember that I got last winter, which I might add, and you probably gathered, I wore an awful lot. So in summary, for this black coat, I would say it's a great and affordable way to tick this fashion trend box for autumn winter. It isn't a 10 out of 10 coat, in all honesty, but it does give you the style that we're after without blowing the budget. Food for thought on that one. Just a quick mention, if you are enjoying this video and finding my styling tips and fashion advice helpful, I post videos once a week on YouTube. It's totally free to subscribe and would be very much appreciated. So this time I've veered ever so slightly on the look, and I've opted for something that actually ticks 2 of the big fashion trends at once: the timeless hourglass aesthetic and a long black coat. Now again, this is one that I saw quite a while ago now, and I thought it was just a beautiful shape. It is a little bit more feminine than some of the others, which are obviously leaning towards more of a masculine aesthetic. Really, I don't actually think there's a right or wrong with this, which way you go. They're both very on trend right now, so I think it's just personal preference on the cut. So let's start with a couple of negatives, which of course are totally subjective, but I really wish they'd made this even longer to finish mid-shin. That would have added a huge gold star for me. Also, it is the most expensive of the 5 that I've shortlisted, retailing at £343. And if I'm being really picky, like the others that have some element of polyester, they have opted for a recycled version, which would have been really nice to see with this one. However, saying all of that, the positives do outweigh those negatives. And as I am always saying to my friends when we're having a good old moan about our relationships, so long as the positives outweigh the negatives, we're doing okay. The wool element that makes up 50% of the fabric is beautiful. It's made from Italian virgin wool that has a very luxe feel to it, and of course it's more resilient than regular wool. Secondly, of course, that shape is stunning. I absolutely love that shape at the waist. It feels incredibly elegant and sophisticated, and of course it's different. It's not a clone of all the other coats that we see on the high street. And actually, when it comes to that hourglass aesthetic, that is a look that kind of is synonymous with Cara Millen. It's something they've perfected over the years, and they do it very, very well. So overall, I do think this one is a brilliant option for those wishing to partake in the black coat trend this season, particularly if you're perhaps not very keen on the masculine look and prefer something a little bit more feminine instead. This would then be a perfect option for you. Heading now to my most affordable find across the high street with this lovely version I found at H&M for £84.99 to be precise. Now H&M have actually leaned in quite heavily on this trend, so they've got quite a few options available on their website, but I personally thought this was the best of the bunch, so it made my shortlist of top 5. Okay, so let's get the bad news out of the way first so we can focus on the positives. But I think it's fair to say there is quite a lot of polyester content in this particular coat. But over half of that is recycled. Plus, of course, it is to be expected when it's retailing under £100. While I love to see and wear beautiful fabrics and will always search for the more sustainable options that are out there, that under £100 mark definitely has its place in the market. And it does make the fashion trends accessible for everyone, which is exactly as it should be. Also, stating the obvious, it's very oversized, as you can see. But I really don't want to harp on about that fact, as that's obviously quite an easy fix. You just size down. I would normally take a small in coats, and as you can see, I think I would need an extra small in this one. So over to the positives. It's long, possibly the longest of all of the 5 coats. It has that clean and minimal line, which I'm definitely after. And also the buttons are really minimal and unobtrusive. They could have easily ruined it with quite standout buttons, but thankfully they didn't go there. I do kind of wish they hadn't bothered with the tab and buttons on the sleeves and just left that very clean and minimal. I do think this one beats the slightly more expensive weekday version. Obviously, with it being more affordable is a bonus, but I actually prefer the shape and the weight of this option. I think that's a lot more wearable for every day. So let's see next if the mango alternative pips this one to the post. Now, while I did have a little bit of a giggle on my Instagram stories about how Mango photographed this coat, sparkly knickers for the school run, anyone? I did actually really like the coat. And so it went straight into my top 5 from the high street for the black coat trend. First of all, I am so happy to see a premium and capsule range at Mango, where they are starting to use more sustainable compositions and higher end fabrics. It's about time. I would, however, still advise always reading the descriptions fully to check what's in your pieces before you buy, because sometimes things can get sneaked in there. But it is nice to see that they're finally heading in that direction. So let's get down to the nitty gritty of this one. It's been made from a blend of virgin wool. Part of that is recycled, part viscose, which is all good. Again, like a lot of the others, it has the lapel collar, the V shape at the front, double-breasted, and a long, lean column shape. This one is retailing at just under £200, so about the middle of all the price points, but it is a more premium quality of wool, I would say, over the H&M and the weekday versions. What I love about this Mango version is how they've got all of those points that I wanted, but they haven't taken them too far or gone too extreme with it. For instance, I really wanted oversized, but I didn't want to feel like I'm drowning in fabric. I wanted sharp shoulders, but I didn't want to worry that I might take someone's eye out with them either. These are all factors I think Mango have got spot on. I also think it's a great shape. I think they've really captured that androgynous vibe well. On the downside, I am not sure what's going on with Mango at the moment, but their shipping takes forever. So much so, actually, I nearly made this my top 4 black coats I found across the high street instead of 5. Not one to order if you're in rush. But that's all by the by, I suppose, if you manage to find your forever black coat. And so to the results. I've really enjoyed doing this type of video actually, just having a good old chit chat about a singular fashion trend and really just scouring the high street to bring you the best options that are out there. So without further ado, let me share the results. Originality. Definitely the award has to go to the Karen Millen version, which I'll admit is a little bit unfair as all the others were a straight masculine shape. But saying that, I haven't seen any other high street brands doing the hourglass shape with their winter coats, so I do really admire that point of difference. Affordability and style. That for me has to go to H&M. I really do like that version. I think it's classic and it's sophisticated, and although yes, of course, I would have liked it to have been made from 100% wool, retailing at under £100, I thought this was a great option on the trend. The overall winner. Now I do feel like I need a bit of a drum roll for this. Thank you, Kelly. And the winner of the timeless black coat from the high street this 2023 is Mango. Though I really wanted the COS one to tick all of the different boxes, it was actually Mango that pipped them to that #1 spot in the end. But taking everything into account with quality, cut, price, fit, yes, I think that's the one I'm going to keep. But do you agree? Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Have I picked the right one? As always, thank you so much for all your support. You are, in short, one very lovely collection of women I have the great pleasure of chatting to every single week. So thank you for being you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you all again on Sunday. Take care.